All right, like let's balance it out. Like I want to. Is this
can't end well.
Thank you. Actually, you know who it'd be. You know who.
Oh, I know.
What?
I know what you're thinking.
What?
He knows. Don't question him.
What? What do you? Come on. What do you?
You're asked about Lacey?
What? Oh, you want me to?
Oh, I thought that's where you're going.
I did want to bring up Sam, the sound guy.
Oh, you should.
I
thought we were getting to know Luana.
Let's talk.
What the fuck?
You don't have a show. My whole show is shitting on you. That's all I have.
We have a woman on stage that we haven't even spoken to. You want to start bringing up other people?
Luana doesn't want this kind of attention any more than Luana. Okay, I mean, it was like, I mean,
What else would you ask me?
Oh, okay.
She's already up here.
Yeah.
Dan, ask her an important question.
Luana, what color is love?
It's a dark purple.
Nice.
I mean, she said that like she knows that that's the actual answer.
Scientific fact.
Do you have a favorite color?
Purple.
Is it dark purple?
Why is dark purple your favorite color? Like, why is that love? It just feels like love to you?
My grandma used to wear dark purple all the time.
Oh.
You loved her?
Yeah.
She's gone. You said you did. When did she go away?
I'm not good with dates. This sounds really bad.
That's a symptom of ADD.
Luana, Dan has a rap about your grandma.
Yeah. How hard did you fuck her?
I'm gonna lock eyes with you, so
Luana's grandma was named Lydia. He fucked her so hard, she got chlamydia.
Oh, God.
Right?
seems like kind of an obvious place to go, but
yeah,
I would have been much more giving, I think.
Yeah, Dan, you would have been much more nuanced about that.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna. No, what I was gonna do is I was hoping, like, I wanted to bring somebody else up that was like, okay, what's the opposite of a guy that fell 100 feet onto his face and that has a rap about how I done him wrong, which would be somebody who maybe has anyone been launched into the air 100 feet and or is very happy that they met me or something. It's just for me, it's just like I'd like to balance it. We got people pointing at other people. It's very curious to me. Like, you're like, this guy loves you so much.
And he can fly.
Is it true? Why is your friend's pointing at you? He thinks that you admire me and think that I'm an inspiring figure in your life.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah? Would you tell me about it in front of people? You don't have to, but if you would, it would make me feel better. You can take the birthday seat. Get the fuck out. Will you get the fuck out of here? He's bored yesterday, so he could just sit where he wants. Hello, what's your name?
Tim.
Tim, and you're from Arkansas, I'm guessing?
From Arkansas.
I'm getting good at this. All right, well, tell me how you love me.
I don't know if it's that astounding, but I'm just kind of a failed writer, and I'm impressed with your writing.
It's like you're the opposite of a skateboarder.
What didn't you write?
I've not written a lot of scripts.
Okay, scripts and screenplays and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of poetry.
Cool.
Luana, what's your...
When you say failed writer, Tim, you mean you failed how?
I don't know what I mean. I'm just, I'm an introvert. My friends made me come up here.
What do you mean you don't want to call
You write and you're not Dan Harmon is what you mean, right? You're not like a...
Nobody wants to call himself a writer ever.
We were just talking about you at the table with my friends that I just met who are awesome. They gave me this bumper sticker. Anyway.
Oh, nice.
Harmontown, next tangent.
Right.
So, what were we talking about?
Okay.
We're talking about you, Tim.
The table was like, you know. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. It's me too. I do the same thing. Believe me, it's every show. That's why I was shifting over to Luana for a second when you got adjusted to because this gets boring really fast. Trust them. But I was going to say, Luana, what's your like not your current job, but like the one that you feel failed at, like whether it's because you didn't take piano lessons or what's the thing that you would have done that you should have done that do you still think about like fuck I didn't do that thing?
I failed at all of my jobs. It's like I just need money, so I work.
Right. It's not like a dichotomy where it's like my dream life and then my regular life.
I just know
that's
I
something
need
that's
to survive.
Okay, yeah. I guess come to think of it, we sort of create that dichotomy in Hollywood because we're like, what if poor people didn't kill rich people? I guess it would be because we showed them movies about how working in a factory was just as good as their dreams. And the way we do that is by fading in on someone who has a dream and a factory job. And then we factory out these like myths to people. What factory do you work at?
It's called Walmart.
Mm-hmm. What's your post there?
I work at the home office. I answer calls about registers.
Answer calls about registries?
Answer registers. If the register breaks, then call in.
Oh, wait, are you like a technician that fixes the register?
No, I just take the call about it and then I send it to the person who will fix it.
You just tell somebody there's a thing broken.
Like, I'll send it to the next level.
Do you live in constant fear of people realizing that your job could be...
They know now.
Like, there's a phone on the left side of your desk and a phone on the right side?
Yeah.
And then someone's going to notice that you can connect the cords? I'm laughing because I'm a cruel person, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I've been there, I guess. I don't know. That's okay. Well, what do we... Yeah, okay. All right, lights are out. Okay, they found out we were playing craps on stage. Okay, so back to you. See, I forgot your name. Tim. Easy name to forget. Now you're a little more relaxed. Like, pitch us your app. No, I don't know. I just brought you up as
Tim,
I was like, somebody hug me.
What kind of writer are you? Would it be screenplays or novels or short stories or
poetry?
Huh?
Poetry, really.
Really?
Poetry.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, like, you can be a failed poet and die, and then people find out later on that you were a great poet.
That's what I'm counting on.
But that's what makes it the hardest job of all, because you're like, well, how do I know when I've started or finished?
Exactly.
I'm going to write some poetry today. Well, maybe this blank page is my poem. Or maybe it makes me identical to a non-poet. And then you're like, I'll put an A. Like, that might be the best poem ever. I will never know.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say before is you put yourself out there. You stand up here and show people your failure, your true self, but also your accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
And it's impressive. That's what we love about you.
Yeah, I take it for the team. I'm like, look, if I can do this, come on. What are we afraid of? What's your worst nightmare? Ending up up here, going like, that's my show. And then you're like, here's $10, $15, and then you're like, there he is, going, I can do it. I think it's a service. I like it. I like connecting with people. Are you talking to him or me? Okay, him. You want a poem from Tim?
Yeah.
Do you have poems that you would never... You seem like a guy that would never want to share one of your poems. That's a challenge.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have them memorized. I'm not a spoken word poet. Yeah, sorry.
But the thing is, like, poetry is an important thing. Like, I'm only recently getting into like poetry, like, and really reading poetry, because poetry for me always seems like something that's a little distant, and like you have to be smart, or like it's like listening to jazz, that horn solo by Coltrane is like it's above my musical brain, and you read poetry and it kind of escapes you a bit. But if you really sit down and listen to poetry and let it wash over you, it actually is really important. And also, like, and I'm not being reductive or diminishing at all. Like Luke, like what you read for us, like that was poetry, and that was like, it's cool for people to write things down, just for the sake of writing them down and saying them out loud or putting them on paper. So, like, to be a poet is important. I think, especially now when our president can't finish a fucking sentence.
Absolutely.
Also, he's the only president.
And hey, I voted for him too. He's just not the most literate president we've ever had. We can all admit that.
Trump, I mean,
I voted for him.
There's probably people here that voted for Trump, and let's not make this political. He didn't have he didn't have a poet laureate at his inauguration because he's not poetic. And I think we need poetry in the world right now more than ever. So to have people that...
I am suspicious of everybody who has a problem with words, and I've always had that problem. And believe me, I acknowledge the fact that the left side of the political spectrum has had a problem with words more than anybody.
Whose phone was that?
What?
Okay, good. Just making sure. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, I've been as much like people have told me you used the wrong pronoun. You did it again. I did it to Levi. I did it I have the biggest foot in your mouth, kind of like old fat white guy, kind of like face of the enemy of progression. Kind of syndrome going on, and for the longest time it was very easy for me to be like, Jesus Christ, this fucking politically correct Nazis and all this stuff. And there is a part of us, the best part of us, that's like, oh, let's all just start being really, really nice to each other, and let's have a rule that you have to be really, really nice to each other. And then now actual bad, ugly, like, hatred has come out of the woodwork. And the really weird thing is that a lot of the people who have been the most adamant to adapt to a world where we have rules about what we say are the people that are now forced to acknowledge that, fuck, the only enemy of this thing is, like, verbal nudity, is like making mistakes, babbling, like saying what you actually mean. If the more people do that, and also it has to be coupled with, if you're wrong, and then someone says, that offended me, they don't mean you shouldn't have been born. They don't mean that you shouldn't have the money that you have. They don't mean that you should lose your job. They mean that offended me, and you can actually just be like, okay, fine, then you're easily offended, whatever. What is my fucking point? I just we're all awash in this weird zone right now, and I have no idea. Like you're awash in this weird zone, like Harmon. Like we have work tomorrow. I don't have a point. This is usually the part of the show where I spiral into like a really accidentally eloquent rant. It's intentional and not an eloquent this time. And it's just your tough luck.
Dan,
you're out $15.
Dan.
You would have lost a lot more out there this last 2 hours. There's those machines are designed to rob you. I don't care. And then I just throw everybody under the bus and get on a plane. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm scared and fat and white and sad and straight, and I guess I offered to 69 a guy. Thank you for your applause. Thank you. That's very brave. I don't know what
we're having a small meet and greet after. Dan's going to 69 10 people after the show.
I will 69 everybody that hasn't been 69
now, Tim,
yet.
a friend of yours, I think, handed you a phone. Is that somebody handing you one of your poems for us to read or to hear?
Yes.
Oh, really? What if I mean, you know that we're gonna, even if it sucks, we're gonna pretend it's awesome because that's how humanity works.
Can I do a small interlude real quick? Like, whatever your politics are, whether you are pro-Trump, anti-Trump, whatever your stance is right now, he didn't have a poet at his inauguration, which is normally the case.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yes. His point.
I want to read one quote that is what John F. Kennedy said at his inauguration. Or maybe not his inauguration, but he said at some point, when power leads a man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. So I would include Luke in that, and everybody, and also Dan and your ramblings. The idea of the idea of saying what's on your mind and being able to say it semi-intelligently, hopefully very intelligently, like the idea of expressing thought in a world where right now like it's just dying on the fucking vine. Like we have we've got Tim on stage who is a poet and is worried that you're a failed writer. You're not a failed writer. It's fucking gorgeous that you are a poet in a world without poetry.
I know what you're thinking. How do I follow that? I know what you're thinking.
That's wow.
But the answer is with sincerity and like, look, yeah, you've got nothing but runway here.
Okay.
You saw what we put up with. You know.
Dan played fake craps with a bunch of guys that didn't know who they are.
You know how bad this show is. You're good.
Tim, lay one on us, please.
Okay, I'm just going to read it. This is called Challenger Deep. I'll just read it. In truth, once more, I stood shivering, clinging to starboard gear, unnatural fear. Braided lines strained out of roiling water, snagging sea monsters, trawlers coaxing nightmares to light. When ancient head near breaking Pacific lines snapped, behemoth sank back to the deep's caverns, unfathomed. 4 times over the morning course we drug the bastard skyward. 4 stolen hooks left us ragged shrouds of algae. Midday and the captain ordered a final angle. I think he caught my ashen face, ordering me to take lead. Either fear abandoned ship or the coward dog's body. I lurched forward, clutching leaded nets. Shouts fell away above a submarine missile's shadow, scuttling aft. Nymphod under dying wake. Tiger propping herself on deck, resting on pectoral fins, as a child might lean elbows on a soda counter. Powerless, I caught myself searching sunken, stalking eye, incredulous mates' tales. Some hideous king swallowing whole to become man, to walk on land, to seduce, to spawn amphibious, to devour mothers, to drag fathers through the void. Anvil skull, smiling rows of arrowheads.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Nick.
You bet. I like the size of the page.
Perfect.
Scrollable page.
Also, we can say for sure you're not a failed writer. That's magnificent, man. That's really
Yeah.
cool. You've been given a horrible task. You have to keep writing. You have to keep writing for no audience. You have to keep doing it whether you like
You're
it
the
or
only
not.
person that can that can say those words. It doesn't matter. It's just like that is that. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. Is like this thing about fashion and like when we're saying the right thing and the wrong thing and how that reflects upon whether or not we want humanity to progress. It's like, well, we've actually fallen back to a position where, okay, there's a war between the people that think you need to say what you feel and a war and the people who think that should be actually put over here. Well, you do things that affect people and that you lie, that's what politics should be and all that stuff. And like no matter what you voted for, no matter what your politics are, no matter how your family leans and what you think people forgot and what sickens you and how you're sick of this and all of that, like I like to think that everybody that I would want to hang out with is somebody that agrees that it's better to just barf out shit, like, and some of it will be silk and some of it will be dessert from last night and some of it will be ugly and some will be beautiful, and like we gotta sort it out, like it's just our job. Why am I explaining that to you? You're a poet.
But that's what I love about this podcast is that you guys throw it all out there, and I worry too much as a poet. I worry too much about
That's the enemy.
making it perfect.
Did you hear the Open Mike Eagle episode where he was like, yeah, the enemy is stopping. It's like, oh, it's that idea. I've said that 1,000 times to young writers but I never follow this advice ever. I've never followed it once. Is that the idea that your job is to write something good is why you're not writing. Because who the fuck is going to write something good?
It's great advice.
It's your own definition of good writing is going to be automatically better than anything you've ever written. And if you're worth your salt, so that's not what you're going to write. You have to write something underneath. You have to write shit that you think is bad. You have to get to that level, and you just like get it out there. I never do it. I sit there and go like, fuck it. And then someone calls and says, you're fired tomorrow. And then I go, fuck you then. And they're like, this is fine. I'm like, yeah, it was fine. Because I'm a genius. And then I say on Twitter, I'm a genius. And then you guys say I'm a genius. And then I come to Oklahoma and do a show. And like, people get cake. But overall, I don't know. All right, well, thank you, Tim, for that poem. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. Tim, real quick, before you go, is there a way for people to find your poetry online that we can go look at, or is there a last name or a thing that we want to find?
My last name is Muren, M-U-R-E-N. You might find a couple of things out there if you really want to search for them.
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks Tim.
He had that pause for a second. He was like, my last name is, and I was like, oh, here we go. He was like, my last name is Hitler, but here's the thing. Like, I'm obsessed with nautical imagery, and I learned it while my grandpa told me about Hitler's conquest at sea. But I'm not one of those Hitlers. I'm a self-loathing Hitler.
Luana, are you an artist in any way? Do you have any artistic leanings?
Not at all.
None? You don't sing, you don't dance, you don't write?
I can't cut a straight line.
With the scissors, you mean?
Like, she says she's all crafty. My whole family is. I can't cut a straight line. I can't draw.
Are you young enough for me to ask how old you are?
I am, I forget all the time, 28.
28.
Yeah, that's a good age. I think that's how old Steve is now.
I kind of have this. It's a horrible human urge. I want to see you panicked. Like I want to.
Jesus Christ!
Well, because she's so evolved and relaxed. I'm like, what makes her panic? I said it was a horrible urge.
This is the dynamic. It's great. I love it.
So you're thinking like you're admittedly not an artist in any way.
No.
None. But you seem just cool as shit. Like you're mellow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a secret. Like, I think artists are all crazy people. Like they have to say something to like get off their chest so they can relax. But you just seem naturally relaxed.
My art is not worrying.
No, this is a real thing.
You're Buddha.
Your art is big. This is a real thing I've been thinking about because I'm writing this book that's is going to also rob people of their money. But where I'm thinking about like human evolution and how we're all like coming from chimpanzees. I'm sorry if you didn't vote for that. I know you're all liberal. It's fine, and I didn't mean that if you're not. I'll suck your dick for $1. Don't beat me up.
Do you think those poker guys are still here? Check in with them.
No, it's not checking with them. We check in with them. But no, I love to think that they hung out and then they're like, what? Who's Duncan Trussell? And then they're like they all into it. But I was just thinking about like chimpanzees and like the fact that like we as a species, like the species that we evolved from, like our shtick became alarm. Like if you we peaked at like we're like so satisfied. We have no enemies. We're like the only thing we had to worry about was like leopards coming at us, and then we just became this species that was like we'll sit here, we'll eat, we'll fuck, we'll hang out, and then if anything fucks with us, we'll go ah. And then everyone will go like run away. And now today we just like walk around with these devices in our phones, and it's just like everything that alarms us is the thing that sells. It's bigger than just like the news. It's like our stories are about like you're gonna die. How are you gonna deal with that? We're addicted to. We're beyond addicted to it. Like we're built on it. Like we are just people that like we don't think that anything could possibly be fine, and as a result, nothing is ever fine. Like there's always shit to worry about, which continues to feed itself. It's like a junkie saying, "Well, I only do heroin when my life's going really shitty." Yeah, and it's you're guess what? That's going to be Wednesday. It's going to keep happening, because you're putting yourself in that zone. Like we've been doing that, but there's unlike with heroin or booze or anything. There's absolutely not a single human being or even carbon-based life form that's not on this thing. So no one's ever going to call us on it. But that's what we're doing. We're like sitting around, like figuring out how to freak out, and we're never going to stop unless we actively decide that we have a problem and have like a 12-step meeting where we're like, we love freaking out. We don't want to do it anymore. We're always going to want to do it. Let's go to the moon and like not freak out anymore. I don't know why I'm laying all this on you. Like,
I'm fine.
You're working at Walmart and you're like, fine. I'm projecting onto you, and I'm like, here's the thing, Luana.
Luana, you're so laid back. Like, do you have?
You're so laid back.
Do you have anxiety at all? Like, I don't want to say you're laid back. No.
But when you lay around the house goes back.
Do you ever have anxiety? Do you get hung up on shit? Or are you bullshitting us? Or are you just that mellow, even keeled all the time? Or is it something that you have to like sublimate and eat up that anxiety, like and you bury it down?
You're a raging inferno inside.
Yeah.
You're about to go off.
Yeah, I'm like fine with being a raging inferno. I like that.
You're fine with us accusing you of being a raging inferno inside. She's fucking with us. Yeah. She's fine with everything.
I mean, I'm asking, are you? Is it possible to be just completely laid back, or are you keeping some shit buried?
Like I freak out, but it's not for long. I don't stay mad long. I don't do anything for long.
You don't hold grudges?
No.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything? And I know the answer is no. Is there anything that you repeat to yourself when you start to get upset that makes you relax? I know the answer is no, because you don't. Because you're just like, oh, I'm relaxed. Like I'm trying to learn things like, oh, whatever, Luana.
I'm sorry.
I know.
He's asking you to tell him that you have a mantra that keeps you cool, but you're probably just cool, built in.
I want that to be true, but that's not true.
Yeah, you want to help me because that would be great, but you're fucking fine.
I just watch TV all the time, and like I would spend weekends just listening to your commentary on Community, and
it doesn't, and nothing I say. I mean, listen, I'm trying to tell you in those commentary. I'm like, well, this episode could have been better. Luana, get upset.
No, I'm just like,
and you're like,
I'm
that's
like,
fine.
He got mad.
What do you watch? What do you watch? Like, do you watch true crime?
Law and Order, Special Victims Unit.
It's okay. So you're gobbling up a little. It's fictional crime. Like you're like.
Yeah, I don't. If I watch like 48 Hours or something like that, it freaks me out because I live alone, and then it's like, oh, someone's gonna kill me now.
Yeah. 40 Hours is always about a woman who got fucking murdered by some asshole that lived next door.
And it's just some random person on the street. It's not like a husband or anything. It's like they didn't know him and they saw him and then now she's dead.
It's funny because it's true.
I snort when I laugh sometimes. Sorry.
He doesn't want to. He only snorts when he's around somebody beautiful as you.
If in your laid backness, could you osmotically understand that I'm an uptight person that is driven by his ability to make people happy, which means people have to be unhappy. I have to make them happy. Is there anything I can do to make you happy, even if you have to lie? Like you just say like, oh, if you pulled down your pants, that would make my day. And then I pulled down my pants. That's not a...
Don't say that.
I chose that suggestion to take it off the table. I know you don't. You shouldn't. I'm saying like, help me. Like, you're privileged. You're relaxed.
You're asking her, Dan, you're saying that you want flawed people to be fixed by your creativity, and you're asking her to be flawed so that you can make her happy.
Yes.
But she clearly is a happy person. That
I know,
likes
and
you.
I don't like that.
But yeah, but she likes you otherwise, like she already likes you whether or not she's flat.
I'd like her to be different. And if she's so cool, she can do that for me.
You're trying to fix somebody who doesn't need fixing.
I'm trying to break her. No desire. She came pre-fixed. It's nothing to do with her but break her.
Keep trying.
Oh.
This is why
Stay
she
mad
doesn't.
at you.
This is exactly why she doesn't watch 48 Hours, Dan.
All right, fine.